So, Pablo, should we start with some definitions? Can you walk us through the history of IoT and AI and what those things actually mean?
Well, thank you, Simon, and I'm very glad to be here. Well, basically, when we're talking about IoT, the Internet of Things, and AI, artificial intelligence, this is nothing absolutely new. We're talking about technologies that existed already for many, many years. But in the past, they were using different names, and it was a different scenario. Right now, everybody's using it. At that time, it was completely different. So IoT comes originally from the concept of machine-to-machine communication, M2M. And this has been used especially in industrial applications for decades and even in the last century, because machines needed to connect, and it was necessary to basically have some connectivity between them to perform different functions. At the same time, we had, for example, industries like, for example, home security, that we have alarm systems in our homes that were connected already to cellular networks via basically SMS and other systems, and performing a very basic function where we're just detecting movement and things like that. When we started to connect other things to the internet and basically all the cellular networks or wireless networks, this is when we started to talk about the IoT or the Internet of Things, wearables, smart speakers, your smart TV, and now all different appliances at home. And at the same time, right now, in the industrial application, IoT is massive. Agricultural sensors, machine learning in factories, trains, buses, everything. When we're talking about AI, same thing. We had things like, for example, powerful analytics already like 20, 25 years ago, but we didn't have the possibility to process the massive amount of data that we are collecting today, every day from everything. So there are two components that actually made the transition to what we call artificial intelligence today. One thing is the big data and the possibility not only to collect, but to store and to manage those things in what we call cloud computing. That basically gave the opportunity to process massive amount of data in real time. At the same time, the increase in processing power. I mean, we don't have a computer today. Your smartphone today has more power than the computer that NASA used 30 years ago, just to give an example. So, and the possibility of managing the amount of data, you have something like, even you can have a terabyte of data in your phone today. That using analytics and using what is called right now machine learning, which is basically being able to go through massive amount of data and look for patterns, and at the same time do analytics on them in simulations. This is what we call today artificial intelligence. Nothing new, but with the possibilities of power and big data today, you can enable all these new possibilities of AI.
Okay. So coming back to IoT, Pablo, how is that technology impacting our current generation of machines in the marketplace?
Well, I think manufacturers are realizing that people are asking for example, new features and at the same time lower power consumption and other, advantages of this new connectivity of everything. And so manufacturers, they need to implement as many features as possible, but at the same time respecting, things like privacy, security. That we will talk about that later, and so it has impacted the way that people are designing products today, because they need to be connected to the internet. They need to be able to perform certain things much better in a different way. And as they mentioned before, I mean, consumers are now aware of many things, like, for example, energy labels and other kind of needs for appliances to perform in different ways. So manufacturers, they have to implement that at the design process of the new models, and it's impacting the whole industry.